Hello everyone, welcome to Club Nights here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast for Tuesday the 30th of July 2024. 2 days in a row, yes, 2 days in a row. Two reasons for that, but a talking point to come out was obviously Bennett's interview, which I did say on the podcast last night would happen as soon as I put the recording up, which did. And also, Nicky was due to record tonight, but he's having some technical difficulties with his equipment, so that will not be happening tonight. So we are here with Club Nights, and joining me, so it's not just me you have to listen to, is my partner in crime from is it the Fatherland? Yeah, that's what they called it, isn't it? The Fatherland. Alistair Pearson. Ali, how are you? How are you feeling? Are you back to normal yet?
No, definitely not. Monday, I was at work physically, but I wasn't there mentally, to be honest. It was, I'm approaching 40 now, Carney, but to do 2 solid days drinking plus getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning because of what happened is most days, sorry. It was hard. It was hard going, but yesterday I was a defeated man, to be honest. And even today, I still feel it. So it was worth it, though. It was worth it.
Absolutely worth it. I was the same. Obviously, I took yesterday off, felt ropey all day, really up till about 8 p.m, so 9 p.m. last night when I kind of finally settled down and felt a wee bit better. And then this morning, felt exactly the same again. I woke up and I was like, absolutely hanging. I had a terrible night's sleep hanging. Work was absolutely chaos today, man. And yeah, just... it's all fun and games at the time, mate. And I suppose, I know you're approaching 40. I'm closer to 40 now than I am 30. So it's getting there for me. But yeah, a couple of days drinking for us, and it's took its toll on us. But it was a great trip, mate. You've got to admit that the way the Germans do football is absolutely different class. Even though we got a flight cancelled, we got to see two cities because we spent a night in Frankfurt and a night in Berlin. And then, mate, Lewis McLeod and Leon Balogun. What are the chances of that?
Yeah. No, it was a good trip. I mean, the flight getting cancelled wasn't ideal at the time when we were sitting in Frankfurt
Literally,
airport thinking
enjoying
navigated the whole way. Yeah, we
Yep.
navigated the whole way in that airport that is massive. If you're ever at the Frankfurt airport, sitting thinking it's just the final leg, and then out of about 100 flights, it was only one cancelled. But it was, if it was what it was, we had a wee day stroke night out in a suburb of Frankfurt, which was...
What's it called?
I forgot already.
Offenbach.
Offenbach, that's it called.
Because we got off and we went back.
Yes,
so Offenbach.
Which was quite cool, to be honest. It was very German. We were the only tourists probably kicking about there, to be honest.
And then in the old-fashioned pub we found it was like the Viceroy, mate, in Germany.
That some booze on there was like obviously your old school guys in there and smoking fags and all that. It was
mental.
It was quite cool. And then obviously we finally got to Berlin the next morning. We got there in plenty of time. Everything was fine in Berlin for 10 o'clock and pished with rain as well. It was it was a good experience. Obviously, we've been to Union Berlin before the stadium, so we knew what it was about. But I just stuff on the trip, nearly get stuck in the 35th floor of a hotel. There's no door handle. And honestly, some of the stuff that happened to us was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But even meeting Leon Balogun on the way back as well, speaking to him as well. We are now best friends with Leon Balogun.
Well. We are.
No, it was an enjoyable trip, and that's our second one. We've done 2 in a trot now. So it'll be interesting, as we said on the way back on the flight, where they'll be next season, because it's been Germany for the last 2. We did say we would like something maybe a wee bit different for next season.
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, I don't know if I can do another trip. I'm like, I honestly don't know if I can do another one, and that would be like a year away. I don't know if I could do that, but it was fantastic. It was really good, a really, really good experience. But it's when you come back, you pay for it. You really do pay for it. You've got to go back and go into working normal life, even though you've just gallivanted for 2 days. But yeah, it was really good, really good. But all the reaction, all the wee videos that me and Alistair done are over on the Patreon. Sign up to our gold tier, and you'll be able to see everything that we done, including we went sightseeing in the last last day as well, mate, because that shows you just how rough we were, that we couldn't even look at not even a radar, mate. We couldn't even look at a radar. Anyway, enough about that, mate. We're here to talk about Rangers things, and there's two pretty major talking points we'll have to speak about. First of all, I will start with the departure of Conor Goldson. One we all knew that was coming. It was just waiting for confirmation, and now it has happened. A statement on the website said Rangers Football Club can today confirm Conor Goldson has departed the club to join Cypriot side Aris Limassol for an undisclosed fee, rumoured to be somewhere around €1 million, 1.5 million euros, round about $1 million, something like that. Goldson's association with the Light Blues has spanned 6 years since he made the move north of the border from Brighton and Hove Albion, making over 300 appearances and completing the collection of domestic honours on offer, as well as playing in a Europa League final. The statement does go on to pretty much explain the whole career of Goldson at Rangers, but yes, it is now confirmed. Ali, there's no other way to say this. We have just let go our best centre half at the football club. However, it was time for Conor Goldson to move on.
Yeah, I completely agree. Conor Goldson, 3.5 million we spent for him, 6 years he spent at Ibrox, probably one more than he should have. Maybe should have went last season, to be honest, because watching him last season, you could see a decline in him. But I thought he was a great servant, Carney. He get slaughtered by some fans saying he wasn't good enough, but he was our best centre half. Bit of a leader as well. The problem with Goldson was he didn't really have a settled partner with him. If you look at it, when Hollander was there, that was probably the best partnership he had with Hollander, and then he's chopped and changed with players like Katic and John Suter and Balogun. He's never really been settled with somebody, to be honest. We always used to say in this podcast is Goldson and whoever the next one is.
Yep.
But no, I think he's been a great servant. 300 odd games. The season we got to Europa League final, I think he's played 60 games or something, which is sort of some going for a guy that had a heart condition before he came to Rangers. But he's 31 years of age. I wish him all the best. But it just shows you, though, Carney, that, as you say, we've let go our best centre half. And as you say, it was time for him to go. So what are we left with at the moment? I mean, we talk about our best pal, Leon Balogun. He's probably the best centre-back we have at the club at the moment, Carney. Because Suter and Davies, for me, I don't see them as leaders. I don't see them really as talkers. Maybe John Suter to a point, but they're squad players for me. And we need to really address the backline now.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's the money that's rumoured for him, you would think's not great, considering he's the best centre half at the club, but I don't really think that's the major concern, the major reason for Conor Goldson moving on. I think it's twofold, to be honest. I think the wages that Conor Goldson was on, it was essential for the club to free that up. And also, he is on the decline. I don't think I put him in the same category as James Tavernier, and you can't consistently keep playing 50, whatever many games a season and remain the same player that you'll be year after year. It doesn't happen like that. It really doesn't. It is all a bit of miles on the clock in terms of minutes in the legs and how many competitive games of football he has played. I think he was an ever present. I thought there was the one season, I think it was at the Invincible season, he didn't miss a game of football. He did not miss a game. He played every single game, which really is incredible in the modern day. It really is for a player to play that many games of football in a season. And yeah, I thought he was a terrific servant for us. I think he got a hard time quite a lot. He probably partly due to being the vice captain, you do become a kind of bit of a whipping boy to an extent. I think Tavernier has fallen against that kind of criticism as well, sometimes rightly so, sometimes not. But for the money we paid for him, we literally built a team, we built a back line around him, and he was a guy that I thought you could trust 9.5 times out of 10. Every player's got a mistake in them, and it's always highlighted, I feel, when a player makes a mistake, when he is so consistent. But there has been times that we've watched him, especially last season, where you thought, you don't look like you've got the same confidence in yourself either. And I do believe it was time for him to move on. I 100% agree, mate. If the club club are not putting pen to paper right now, then I would start to be very concerned, because it's been clear that this move's been happening for a while. So I would like to think we've got somebody lined up. Obviously, there's been no real strong links in terms of centre-halves since Enciala, we signed him. But now, mate, there is literally no excuse for me. The club have to bring in somebody to replace Conor Goldson, and not just a what's the word I'm looking for? A project player, a player that was going to need time to settle. This is going to need to be someone that comes in, commands the back line, controls the defence, and leads the team from the back going forward, because you're missing not only the best centre-half that we had at the club, but you're missing a leader. So it's imperative the club do the proper business and do it extremely quickly.
They have to. I'd like to think, as you say, this Goldson deal's been on the cards for a couple of weeks. It's not a secret he's just all of a sudden left. So I'd like to think they've been looking at centre halves. I know we've not really heard of many. So yeah, it's. I mean, we watched that Union Berlin game, Carney, and we conceded 4 goals in the back.
I love how you've changed to call them Union Berlin, because it's German start, is it? Yeah,
a culture
Onion.
for you there.
Yeah,
but but we conceded 4 goals there against them, and then the back line was atrocious. It really was. All 4 of them were awful. So they have to get it right. They have to. I agree. You need to bring a guy in similar to Conor Goldson, a leader, a talker. They need to bring 2 in, because I mean, obviously we'll come on further down the podcast in terms of coming up to Hearts at the weekend, but Balogun for me starts above any of them because he's a talker. I mean, we've seen him in the playing, Carney, and he wasn't happy with Lafanza. And he gave them an absolute roasting, and I turned to you, Carney, but I could see him in the dressing room really having a go at folk. So he'd be starting for me, not in the back of him having a go at Lafanza, in case folk are saying that, but in terms of he's a guy that is a bit of a leader, and you can depend on Balogun as well. So it'll be interesting what happens there. But we need, for me, 2 centre halves and 2 starters, because I know I'm saying there we play Balogun because he's our best centre half. Balogun, it was supposed to be pretty much our 4th choice for this season, and again we're at a position, he's same as last season, that he's our best centre half at the moment. So we're back to square one again, and we're 2 years down the line.
Yeah, that's what we speak about, that we were maybe worse off now than we were last season. It's because of facts like that, mate. Is that Balogun's becoming our first choice centre half, and he wasn't brought here to do so. And nor will his wage reflect he'll be the first choice centre half as well at the club. Davies will be on more money than him. I'd be shocked if he isn't, because Balogun took quite a small wage to come back to Rangers, or quite a wage cut to come back to Rangers. So yeah, no, I totally agree. It's time for Rangers to really pull the finger out. But I feel like I've been saying that all pre-season. Goldson put up quite a nice message, I thought, when he left me. I thought it was pretty honest. I thought it was a very nice assessment. Some of these things that get put up are just absolute jargon, and it's just a ticky box to remember how amazing I am, and you don't know what you've got till it's gone kind of thing. But with Goldson, I thought it was a really nice touch from him. You could tell that it was him that sat down and wrote it himself, and a few interesting points in it. I absolutely love that he admitted he didn't win as much as he should have at this club, and really, mate, with a player putting the performances that he did in, and with James Tavernier, there is just no doubt that we've underachieved over the last 5 years since he's been here, and we all know that. It's something we can't move away from. But I don't think it should really take too much of the shine away from Goldson, because I believe he was a great bit of business, and a guy that looked like he gave everything for the club. A guy that I think Ali will always be welcome back. But what did you make of his wee kind of goodbye to Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players that leave Rangers and other clubs usually put up a wee spiel of thanks for the years and all this. But you could tell Goldson was actually sat down and thought about what he was going to say to the fans. He said on it that he doesn't really come out in interviews. You don't hear much from him over the years. That's not that he doesn't care. He just doesn't like that side, social media and stuff, which I like.
Did you immediately think when he made that point, though, that he was having a dig at Cantwell? Because I did. I immediately thought, well, he must hate Cantwell.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, in his statement, everything was correct from him. He's probably talking from the heart, to be honest. I thought he was a good servant. I did think he gave his all for Rangers. Like I say, I know some Rangers fans didn't fancy him, but honestly, as I say, I think he was our best centre half for years there. And I think, as you say, Karen, you could depend on him 9 times out of 10. And he did care for Rangers. You've seen it during the 55 season when there was no fans and you could hear the players in the stadium, and he was a voice you heard all the time. So yeah, I thought it was good from Goldson, and like I said, wish him all the best. 31, going out to Cyprus, nice climate out there. Probably no grief out there either. So probably a decent wage too. So good luck to him, and hopefully we'll see him back at Ibrox.
Yeah, and there was a comment. Yeah, no, as a player though, but no, I'm the same. I wish him nothing but the best. And there was a comment that made by Clement about the money was too good elsewhere for some players, and I believe Conor Goldson probably falls into that. I don't think Clement would have been too desperate to get rid of Goldson. I really don't. I think he would have been quite happy to keep him and try and bring a quality centre half into the left hand side of him. But wish him absolutely nothing but the best. It was the right time for it to happen. Maybe a year too late, but as I say, I wish him absolutely nothing but the best. So yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the pod, mate, just after I finished recording last night's club nights, the interview with Bennett was released, 22 minutes released through the club's media channels, social media, and on their YouTube. If you haven't watched it, it's on our site as well as on all the official Rangers channels. 22 minutes, mate, of something that didn't make me feel any better, for sure, and also nothing that made me feel much worse. In fact, I'll lie about that. It made me feel slightly worse because all it did was really reconfirm to me that I don't see us being in Ibrox before Christmas. I really just don't see it happening. He mentioned there was waiting for 2 shipments of steel to come in. One's during the 2nd week of August, one's during the 3rd week, and he is making no assurances, and he was caveating quite a lot. He said caveat, I don't know how many times, that he would hope to have us back for the last game of the league, and the last home game was the September month. God's sake, man, I put my teeth back in. So yeah, he was hoping for the last home game in September. I don't really see it. In terms of it overall, is there anything you want to pick out? Is there anything that bothered you? Is there anything that you think you weren't expecting to hear? Because for me, it was all a bit, yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, they've sat down before he's done an interview, and they've gone over what they're going to say, basically. But John Bennett, he's the chairman. We don't hear from him. We haven't heard from him for ages. He needs to come out to support more often. What he said, I wasn't shocked what he said, to be honest. In terms of the stadium, Carney, it was quite bizarre in terms of when he was talking about them doing this Copeland stand, that whoever the contractor was, whatever, in terms of this deal, somebody signed off on it to assurances to say it'll definitely. Like I say, I work in the world of tiles, Carney, and we import from all around the world. You could never guarantee this because, as we see, shipment dates can. You work in a different field, but similar, you'll be importing stuff as well.
Yep,
you'll be importing in the moment, especially where the world is with the wars, etc., and lack of shipping containers in certain places of the world. These delays are all the time, and I know in the world of tiles I'm in, they are, and that's why you can't give a concrete date at the moment, because potentially it can change. I see it in my job. It can change. Anything can happen. It can stuck at customs. There's like I say, there's conflicts around the world. A lot of ships are having to go down the bottom of Africa, which was putting on 2 weeks.
There's transportation, mate, just even getting it from when it gets into the country, getting it to Ibrox.
There's so many different factors in terms of how it could be delayed further. So that's why he couldn't give a specific date. He gave an optimistic view in terms of, I would like this. This is the estimated date I've been given. If this happens, then we would like to get it done for, I think Hibs is the first home game. How much are we in holiday? So I'm missing. But I think it's Hibs. But no, honestly, I can't see it, Carney. From the way the world is and different in the way stuff like this happens, like I say, I refer to my job. But it's Nah, I can't see it. I honestly think I think it could be up to Christmas. And I think he kind of, in a way, told us that, be aware, it could be longer.
Yeah, I think he was.
That's why, yeah, he couldn't come out and say it.
I think he was setting it up for that a wee bit as well. I mean, that's what I took from it. Maybe that's the cynical bit in me, but I don't know. But I was going, okay, right, we're not going to be at Ibrox anytime in the near future, that's for sure. Plus, he was talking about it coming in the second, and then coming the third one coming in the third shipment coming in the third week of August, and I'm going, right, even at that, if that means every bit of building has to go exactly according to plan, everything fits, everything works, there's no anything, no kind of hiccups, nothing that can be delayed. And then you've got all the safety things that's going to need to be signed off in that. Let's not remember, and as he reminded everybody or during his interview, he said who we are doing it for. I 100% agree with Rangers doing this. It's far too long that they've been sitting, the people with this, the disabled fans have had to sit down on the front row, the main stand. It's just been far, far too long. So I 100% agree. The bit in my head that I'm going in is these plans were signed off ages ago. I mean, ages ago to be done. Why was the shipment not brought in from then? There is plenty of places we could have kept that material. It didn't need to go into the wire. We didn't need to be expecting it during the delivery. It could have been kept on the grounds of Ibrox, probably, let's be honest. Nobody's going to come in and lift a 20-foot metre length of a steel girder. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, that's the bit that frustrates me. I'm going, it's still, no matter what you look at it, and no matter how much you want to fluff up, I think the kind of delayed with the ship, the materials coming in, still believe it's a failure that these materials weren't here before the work even started. You've got such a short window to do that work in. Everything should have been there. All the manpower should have been there, and there shouldn't have been that element of the delay, a possible delay, should have been taken out of the equation. That's my opinion. One thing he did confirm is that he believes that Clement is bringing a lot to the club, including leadership, but he's very much all in. And he did admit to him in May that this is a much bigger rebuild than he first expected. That comment to me as well was a wee bit like, well, yes, as a fan, I know that this club's been needing a rebuild for quite a long time, but I also do think that he set the premises for patience again, and I feel like that's came from Clement. I think it came from Bennett. I think there's an element of patience. I 100% believe that Rangers need to build for the long term with this squad, and there's players that we're going to need to develop, and we're not going to see progression with them, and it won't happen straight away. However, we are Rangers, and I want it to be short-term pain for as much long-term gain as possible. And I don't know if the way that he was wording things, that they really expect it to be, what's the word, a quick turnaround. I don't think there's any of us really right now going into this season with any confidence. I don't think I'm breaking any barriers or saying anything that nobody's expecting there. But what did you take on with the way he was talking about even the player trading thing? Even the player trading model he was talking about, he was there when this all started off, and he's saying that he's not seen it. There's a kind of, there needs to be an element of ownership around some of the stuff that he was saying that I didn't feel that he'd really done. He's a business guy though, and that's the way that he talks, I suppose.
Yeah, he's blamed previous people at the club for not running the club properly, even though he's technically been there as a shareholder, whatever it is. I know he's not been chairman, but he's blamed other people. But in terms of his answers and stuff, in terms of he's set, the way I took it from it, in terms of, he was saying we're not sustainable at the moment, which we kind of know. We're hemorrhaging money, so we need to get the player trading model up and running. The problem is we don't really have any assets for this player trading model, and you can see the route they're going down and bringing younger players in, develop them, i.e. a Diamande, develop them 2 years out of them and punt them. That's what we should be doing, trying to do. But he's kind of said to the Rangers support that this is going to be a long-term project. So
he might as well have said, strap yourself in.
Aye, well, you might as well say strap yourself in, because what I got out of that, Carney, was don't expect us to win the league next season. Don't expect us to be really challenging, because it's going to be a process in terms of what Clement wants to do, and we don't have the money. We don't have the money at Rangers to go out and buy players. This is why we are buying at the moment. If you want to say it, project players, Carney, these guys that are coming in, potential. That's why we need to get guys off the books, guys with big wages to see if we can bring anyone. He mentioned that we've spent the best part of 11.5 million over this year in terms of transfers, agent fees, etc. So, yes, did I feel any better after it? Probably not, but at the same time, what he said, I kind of knew what he was going to say because I kind of knew where we are. Also, I don't know Rangers' finances inside out, but obviously you can see when the finances coming out, you can read into it. And Rangers, we know Rangers don't have money, and we knew they were hemorrhaging money. So he's basically said to the Rangers fans that don't, although Rangers are built on success, and that's what they are, and you have to win every single game. He's basically said this is going to be a long-term project, which says to me, Carney, that potentially don't expect Rangers to win the league next season. And to be fair, I did say that beginning end of last season. I did say we might have to have a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain, if you want to say. And that's pretty much what he said.
Yeah, also as well, look, stranger things have happened as well, and I know this is the glass half full bit coming back. Did we think at any point last season that we would have a chance of winning the league? No, and at one point it looked like we were on for it. Okay, we faltered and it fell apart. Yes, 100%, I can agree with that. But McClement has now had a full pre-season with this team, and I would like to think that we'll be in a better position physically for the run-in of the season by the time it gets there. We just have to hope that whenever we get this squad that Clement wants, or we finish our business in this window, that we are not already kicking ourselves for being behind, and we have to hope that it not damage limitations, because I believe Rangers will still get results. However, it's not already went too far. Basically, I think that's the hope that we'll need to have, and yeah, we'll need to try as Rangers fans to try and be as patient as possible. But yeah, I agree. I think Bennett was damned if he did and damned if he didn't do that interview. I think people would have went off his head. I don't think he was ever going to come out and say something miraculous that was all of a sudden going to change the full mood of the support. And it's something that he has now done. And I agree with what you said. That has to be much more often. Even if it is bad news, we still deserve to know. We still deserve to know what is going on with the club. And he can't, and he mentioned it himself, he can't let that vacuum to be created and filled by noise, which is what happened. But yeah, not a great deal to get into, but I didn't think there would be. I think a lot of people took it worse than others, but I think the reality is it's where we are as a club just now. And everything that he said was as I expected, really as I expected. Ali, that will do us for tonight. Anything else to add on that before I say goodbye to you and let you go and probably have another lie down, try and fully get Berlin out your system? You had a Bucks bar yet? Did you sort of see it?
No, I've not had a takeaway or anything. We're supposed to be eating healthy, which isn't great at the moment because we've got a holiday coming up, so apparently I have to eat healthy from now to then, which...
Lucky you.
I'll need to cheat. But the only other thing I would say, Carney, on the Bennett interview was supposedly they're coming out this week telling us where we're sitting in Hampden. Now, I've seen people say that they've logged into their Rangers account and they've seen their seat and it's been taken away. So some people have seen where they're sitting apparently, and so Rangers are taking it away. So it'll be interesting. I don't envy the Rangers staff. He did say they're working around the clock in the ticket office tonight. I do not envy them, because when they finally come out and give us our seats, it's going to cause uproar, because I don't know how they do it to please everyone and sit around beside each other. It's going to be a nightmare. But yeah, apparently we will find out at the end of this week. And we need to, because we're in Hampden a week on Saturday, so we need to know where we're sitting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as one of the ones, mate, that's not going to please everybody, because the perfect example is if you sit in the Broomloan front, the West Stand front is not the Broomloan front. I mean, it's not even close to it. So it will be interesting to see how they do it, mate. I do agree with that. It's going to be interesting to see how they do it. But yeah, that will do us for tonight. Ali, thank you very much for joining me, my friend.
No problem. And yes, hopefully me and Jamie will be filming my podcast for the Patreon. The transfer years. I thought I'd do a show because everyone's greeting about this transfer window and stuff. So I thought I might as well look back
including
at
us, including us.
including us.
Yeah.
So I thought I might as well look back on the transfer windows and go through not pretty much the season, but the players that we've let go and brought in, and probably players that we've forgotten about. So I'm going to start it from Advocat when he came in. I thought that was a good kind of place to start. So yes,
Yeah.
me and Jamie will be doing that this week, hopefully. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yes, that if all going to plan, that'll be with our Patreon, our Gold Tier Patreon members tomorrow night once they finish recording and it's all uploaded, etc. On Thursday, not 100% sure if it's going to happen. Quite difficult to get everybody together just now due to it's coming the end of the kind of summer and the start of the season. Everybody's still got things on, but we are going to do a Viceroy recording. It could still be me and Ryan. I'm not 100% sure. It might happen, it might not. If it does, hurrah. If it doesn't, then okay, but it won't. We'll be back on Friday with Club Live, and then the official launch of the Patreon happens, and we kick off the season on Patreon with the start of the league season proper, which will see us take on Hearts at Tynecastle, and we all were so excited for it. Absolutely. But no, that will do me for tonight. I don't think I've got anything else. No, I think that's it. I am Scott Carney. He's been Ali Pearson. This has been Club Nights, and we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.